you.
We're not streaming yet, are we?
Bring it in.
We're streaming.
Bring it in.
Right now.
Love. Bring it in.
He's like,
Bring it in.
happening, bro.
Come on.
He's
okay.
like, oh,
okay.
no.
Okay.
So,
How long have we been live?
about 30 seconds.
Yo, trying to hug Dan's son. It's so good to be back. I'm Johnny Ray.
And I'm Dan.
And this is 5-Hour Recovery. We've been absent for a couple weeks, haven't we? Dan's been taking care of some family stuff going on. Move your fat foot so we can bring this in. Sorry, people, but he's got a fat foot and it's in my way.
You know what they say about men with big fat feet, right?
Big
fat
socks.
socks.
Yes, that's exactly right. The last couple weeks, I have either ventured on a solo mission, which was just sad. Did you watch my solo mission video?
I was busy.
It was sad.
I haven't got to watch it yet.
It was like I was like, I'm Johnny Ray, and there's nobody there.
And this is
And then I
Casper
cried.
the Friendly Dan.
And then I cried. It was sad.
You probably did cry.
I missed you.
You cry a lot.
It was definitely a little odd without my co-pilot here,
Right,
my co-pilot
right,
friend.
right.
So Dan, what were you doing the last 2 weekends? Talk a little bit about yourself.
My goodness.
People care about what's going on in your life. So
let's
hear about
see.
it.
I had an uncle pass away who did not have a will. Left a huge mess. He was a hoarder, multimillionaire hoarder. So
Not a whore.
Hoarder. So me and my lovely son over here have been fucking cleaning out trash for weeks.
Almost. Whoa.
Yeah. Well, we got the death certificate yesterday, so everything now goes into probate, and it's
Nice.
From today on, it'll be up to the.
And you guys are going to Lake Stevens today to take care of more, right?
The
Right,
end of
Dustin?
No.
I remember Dustin. Dustin was like, I'm not going today.
No.
Apparently, Dan makes the rules of
I
that.
do.
So that's awesome. So are you guys making making an impact?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, dude. We filled a 20-yard dumpster in 3 weeks
It was,
of trash.
I
Whoa.
only visited the Everett house one time and it was nasty.
Oh yeah.
That's
I was
Morgan
on
in the background.
I didn't even go inside. I was on the outside of the house.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's bad, dude. It's horrible.
I'm sorry, bro.
But the cool thing about all this is so my dad was the one that was appointed to take care of the estate, and my dad lives in Oregon. He came up here, had some heart problems, so he had to go back home.
Mhm.
And for the first time since I was like 15 years old, my dad told me he trusts me, and he handed everything over to me and told me to do it.
Good. So
I mean, it's good,
do
but
they actually call it an estate? It's pretty big.
there's two of them. There are 2 houses full of tools, and you name it, dude. It's fucking crazy. It's crazy.
Dude.
Cars
What did-
everywhere.
Can I ask what he passed away from?
Heart attack.
Heart attack. Was he an addict?
Well, apparently, yeah. We found some stuff that shows that he was. So even after saying,
Oh my
I'll never
God.
deal with you again, you piece of shit drug addict. Well, guess what?
Whoa.
This is the one person that wouldn't take amends from me either. So now I'm starting to think, because maybe you had something to hide.
Whoa. He just scared me when he looked at me like that.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
freaked
right.
me out,
I
man.
was a little
See,
mad,
and
dude.
this is that
I'm
raw.
not even gonna
This is that raw recovery that we're talking about, right? This is why we do these videos. Is because that's just. I don't even know how I would feel about that current
Oh, I'm
situation.
fucking pissed.
I mean, it's got to freak you out a little bit. He didn't
I
accept
took the
your
objects
amends.
outside and just fucking.
He was a closet user. My God, he passed away.
Yep.
Bro, that is some raw, real stuff right there. Wow. I'll be praying for you.
Yep.
I think it'll be all worked out.
Oh,
I
it
think
is.
they left it in the hands of a good man to take care of.
I hope so.
So I
A
think
little nervous about that whole thing and
trying
stressed
to
out.
buck up on Saturdays and get out there and kick some
He's- He'll whine and cry till he's there, and then he'll be like,
Man.
whatever.
What a whiner. He probably whines worse than Emery, huh?
Pretty close.
Pretty close.
Pretty close. I mean,
That's-
all my kids.
That's crazy. So, what are we going to talk about today, Dan? We got all sorts of stuff to talk about today. Why do you look at me like I'm like pure evil when you say? So let's establish, why is it important for us to remember where we came from?
Me?
Yes.
If I don't remember where I came from, I easily fall back into it.
Mhm.
Like I have to constantly remind myself of where I've been and what I've done. Also, for me, remembering where I've been helps me help others.
For sure. Like how are we supposed to know where we're going if we don't remember where we've been?
Right.
A lot of people, when they get clean, they forget about where they used to be. They look down on addicts who are on the streets, forgetting that they once were on the streets.
Right.
That's something that I deeply frowned upon, and I take it very seriously. I will never forget what it was like to sleep out in the cold. I'll never forget what it was like to not have toilet paper,
right?
to not have food, to have family hate you. I remind myself constantly. And some people think that that means that you have to live in that, right? That you can't move forward. No, it just has to be remembering where you came from. This is the first R in 5R recovery. That's what it's all about. It's remembering our story. I say this all the time. The most useful tool that you have to helping anybody else in recovery is what?
Your story.
Your story.
Your testimony.
It's the most powerful thing, and it's yours. It's something that nobody else has. Your story, my story. Those are the most powerful tools, right? We use that to relate to people. That's how you reach an individual. If somebody comes up to me and they're at their desk, typing on their computer at their office, and I go upstairs and I'm like, hi, I used to think I was infested with worms in my methamphetamine. And they're like, well, I read a book about that, and let me see. Yeah, what it's called is, I would just be like, well, you have no idea what it was actually like for me. So us remembering where we came from is how we're able to reach people.
Yep.
It's absolutely crucial. What does recover mean to you?
There's a lot of different meanings in recover for me. But for me, I had to learn how to be a normal human being again. And I wouldn't have been able to do that without going to treatment, IOP, and things like that to teach me tools to be able to walk through life as a normie, so to speak, kind of. Not really normal, but you know what I mean? For me to recover, I had to be able to deal with everything within myself and what I showed on the outside.
Yeah.
So going to treatment, going to IOP, doing all my classes, being 100%, doing what I do here, I've learned how to be a responsible adult.
Yeah. And what do some of those things look like? Let's see. You joined a fellowship.
Yep.
You clean and sober living.
Yep.
Treatment like the Diversion Center.
Yep.
There's your plug, Diversion Center.
Yep.
Diversion Center, amazing program, right? All the different resources that are available. That's what recover is. That is the second R in 5R recovery. Why is that important? Well, people are like, well, Johnny Ray, what resources do you offer? Why do I need to offer you any resources? They're all out there.
Right.
Go out there and find them. The cafe is amazing. The Evergreen, all these different places, especially in Snohomish County, there is a lot of resources available. Now, I'm not saying someday we won't have resources of our own, but for right now, recover, that's what it's all about. It's recovering by joining a fellowship, working your steps,
doing the work,
doing the work, going to treatment, going to detox, going to sober living, get a job, get your license back, pay off your fine, get your kids back. I mean, it goes on and on and on and on. And that recover has to do with not just the physical part of it, the emotional part of it, the mental part of it, and the spiritual part of it, right? Or wait, there you say emotional, spiritual, physical, and mental.
Yep.
All four of those. That's the recover stage in 5R recovery. So we remember where we came from, remember our past, right? Utilize it to the best of our ability and go and embrace it. Embrace who we are. Don't be ashamed of who you are. God, you know how many junkies are on there? You're not that special. Let me just say that right now. You're not that special.
I got three sitting right here. I mean,
right. Four. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, wait. Yeah.
And a couple. Who knows?
Yeah. Again, we're not that special, right? It's like, oh my God, I'm a junkie. Yeah. So is my 90% of the other world right now, right?
So is the other 30 people on my property.
Exactly. So buck up, take responsibility for your actions, right? Remember where you came from, and then recover using all resources available. Why is it important for us to rejoice, Dan?
Well, because we've started a whole new life, man. We aren't those people that we remember being, right? And it's honesty, man. Like, I was so thrilled when I remember my 6 month. I don't know why that one was my biggest one, but we had this barbecue here, and it felt like I let go of the old me. Does that make sense? Like, I felt like I didn't have to worry about that guy no more. Like, we had done my testimony and things like that, and I don't know, man. It was a celebration of life. It's kind of like it's a whole new life.
It was so powerful. No, I'm just kidding. Rejoicing, being thankful for who we are, being appreciative of our lives. Do you know how much I love toilet paper now that I knew what it was like to not have it? It's one of those things. Have you ever just done that? Woke up in the morning and you feel the sun hit your face and you're like, dude, I used to wake up in the morning and the sun hit my face and the first thing I would do is smoke or get high, right? And now I wake up and I feel the breeze of the air, the smell of the flowers. Even cut grass is something that I never experienced. Fat Pat just joined us, which is awesome. Again, so the third R in 5R recovery is rejoice.
Yep.
So this is a formula that was put together. 5R recovery, that's what it stands for. You remember where you came from. You recover using all resources available. You learn to rejoice and be thankful for who you are in your life. So what is it like for you to be reborn?
Ooh, boy. That's a good question.
Oh man, break out the R's.
For me, I feel like a totally different person now, right?
Mhm.
Like, I go to work every day. I run this place. I help Johnny Ray, obviously. But for me, it's like I got my soul back. Right? I'm in touch with God again because I walked away from God. God never walked away from me. I walked away from God. So for me to be able to have that relationship with God again and my family and my friends and actually have fucking friends that I can count on.
Yeah.
It's amazing, man. I can't even tell you how good it feels.
Yeah.
There's no explanation for it.
It's awesome. Being reborn, starting fresh, right? Setting short-term and long-term goals for yourself that are achievable.
Right.
Basic things, right? The most, you can think of simplistic things and then long-term down the road, right? That's the 4th R in 5R recovery. We remember where we came from. We recover using all resources. We rejoice and celebrate our lives. We become reborn, start fresh, short-term, long-term goals, and then you can relive a life of service and helping others. And that's what the 5 R's are. When people ask me, Johnny, what is the 5R formula? Well, I just gave it to you. That's what it is. It seems very basic and very simple, but it's something that you'll work for the rest of your life. Recovery should
Every
be
day.
not long-term. It should be life-term.
Yep.
This should be something that you wake up and do every single day. I am constantly fixing myself. I am constantly working on myself. And as a leader, it's important for us to remain humble. It's important for us to remain servants of God, our community, the people, and the mission. And the mission is to walk alongside people in their journey of recovery.
Absolutely.
I ain't doing this shit for you. Excuse my language, but I ain't doing it for you. Okay.
Nope.
Don't ask me to. Wow. Thank you, Pat. I appreciate the outside commentary.
But
But yeah, I'm not. I don't do
No.
it. But I do walk alongside you. You know, it's like I will be friends. You become family of 5R real quick. You notice that
Right.
about the people in 5R recovery, right? It's not just a fellowship, which is awesome. You should be a part of a fellowship. It's a fact that you're part of a family. We know each other. We know our stories.
Yeah.
We walk with the journey. It's pretty amazing. So
that's
that's what,
part of 5R is telling your testimony to
For
each
sure.
other, so you can get to know each other even better.
right. And your testimony is powerful. Somebody might see it, it might save their life. That's
Right.
what we're all about. So those are the 5 R's for recovery. I wanted to open up and say that, right? When you begin with remember, choose to recover, you can learn to rejoice, then you can become reborn and start to relive a life of service and helping others. Pretty basic, very easy. 5 R's, that's what it stands for. Okay, so let's get into our topic.
Okay.
And then we're going to invite Ivan to come in and
Yeah, we are.
spit some fire. Say hi to Ivan, everybody. Hey,
Hi,
Ivan. And then there's Pat and Morgan. Hey, they're part of our producers here.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Can I get some better lighting, Pat? No, I'm just kidding. He's like, well, I don't know.
He's like, I'm busy.
Dude,
too. I
nice
need
shoes,
to-
Pat.
Yeah, they're
I know, I
filthy,
told
dude.
him.
Those are
Those are
filthy.
sick.
He's
They
a
are.
shoe guy, isn't
Oh,
he?
Yeah, he just got them yesterday. He's all happy about them. It's like a little kid at Christmas, eh?
He
Like,
does look
I
like a
don't
little
know
kid.
if I'm more happy about the shoes or the $600 tablet I just bought.
Oh,
yeah, you got that too.
my
He's spoiling
gosh.
himself a little bit, which
Good
we get
for
to do in
you.
recovery,
Good
right?
for you, Pat. Okay, so our
I
question.
had better up Shane.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
Oh my god.
I think that's
Of
pretty
course,
cool
it's-
when you can
it's-
take care of yourself. Okay, what's our question? Our question is how does addiction and recovery affect your physical, your emotional, your mental, and your spirituality?
Ooh,
Let's
good
start
question.
with the first one, okay? So what did addiction do to you physically?
Jesus Christ, endocarditis 3 times, in the hospital several times, almost killed myself doing too big of a shot. Like, it tore me the fuck up, dude. It aged me 10 to 15 to 20 years. I don't even know.
Yeah.
I feel like an old fucking man, and I'm not that old. I mean, I'm old, but I'm not that old. You know what I mean?
You're old.
I've seen shut the hell up. Johnny, you took
Are we the same age?
See? Almost.
Oh,
No, I'm quite a bit older than you, I think.
quite a bit. I'm just kidding. But you
Like
look
10.
way better than me, bro.
I don't know about all that, but I am pretty dashing. I must say. Physically, man, it tears you up.
Mhm.
It tears you up, dude. You blow all your veins, you blow your own fucking mind, basically, and you're fucked.
Yeah. I noticed like we gain a lot of weight in recovery.
In
You're gonna
recovery
gain-
now, recovery.
You're gonna gain weight in recovery.
I'm fat, bro.
Yeah.
I'm 220 pounds, dude. Out there, I was 113. You know, so
Oh,
it's a big difference.
that is a big difference.
And I'm pretty big around. So, but health wise, I can work a full day without having to do dope now. I mean,
It's pretty good.
and then some.
Yeah.
Smoking's kind of holding me back a little bit, but not much. But,
Smoking and energy drinks.
and those are what keep me going all day.
Yeah. What should keep you
Probably
going is
not.
just you.
Yeah,
You should
but
just keep
I
yourself
do.
going.
Mentally, I do.
That's good.
Mentally, I do.
We'll get into mental. What about teeth?
Oh God.
teeth, I would like to know about your journey.
Right?
Because how is that
How the
possible?
fuck did you do that?
Right,
Yeah, because it sucks all the calcium
I think
out.
it just happens, right? Your teeth just get tore out,
They're just
and
gone,
nasty, and man, let's see. So headaches, I get constant headaches now, constant neck aches. I've put on some weight. I don't have the stamina I used to. So me carrying stuff or just like trying to play basketball with my cousins, I get tired really easily.
Yeah, stamina's a rough one.
Yeah, and these are just a couple things of physical. You know, I have a bad neck, I have a bad back, I have bad kidney problems. These are all things that come from our obsessive drug use and our increase in drug use. You know, when I was in active addiction, I felt like I could lift anything and do anything, work 5 nights a week without sleep. Yep. You know, just repair stuff in the house that I didn't know how to fix. I could take it apart.
Or even if it didn't need repaired, you took it apart. Yeah, right. I'll make it better.
I will fix it. And then, that's just it. And we're laughing because if you're watching this, you probably know what we're talking about.
Absolutely.
It's one of those things. I can take anything apart, put it back together. That wasn't my job. That was somebody else's job. I don't know who that job was.
Knocking out a whole city block of power.
Right. Our eyesight. I never had glasses when I was in active addiction.
I so bad.
Yeah. I never had active addiction.
Yeah.
I never had vision. Sorry, I'm watching them play with their shoes behind me.
I
never had bad eyesight in active addiction. Now I need glasses. So think about that, you know?
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, you guys, we're filming here. You know, jeez, they can hear you. You know, okay, let's ask Ivan to come on the camera now.
All right. Yeah, that's what you get for talking.
Yeah, come on over here, Ivan. You join Dan and talk about the physical. Nope, join right there.
Over here, buddy.
You gotta be on set.
Oh yeah, come on.
All right. Talk about the physical ailments that you have suffered from your active addiction and recovery.
Tell about what?
The physical shit that you went through while you were inactive
I'm still going through it, man. Let's see. I had a triple hernia surgery last year. I'm having heart failure and problems. I'm starting to be diabetic. Look at my hair; it's all gray. All gray.
What I have left is too. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm only 48.
So nice.
But I'm starting to feel 88.
That's real.
Yeah, I really have a hard time getting up and going to do things, but I work my ass off. Hell of a good worker, and I always pride myself with that. But it's physically tore me up. It physically took me through the ringer. So as far as I don't even have any short-term memory. If I set my keys down, I don't know where the fuck they are. I can't find my wallet half the time. It takes me a half hour to get out of the house. Fuck, where's my memory? I don't know. So now I put everything on a leash.
Get over it.
Over leashes. I can see a bright red leash, and I'll be like, oh, yeah, I need my wallet. I need my brain. There it is.
Yeah. And obviously, you've gained a little bit of weight.
I've gotten fat. I'm 220 pounds now. Yeah,
how about teeth?
I've got all my teeth. I'm only missing one half a tooth. So you'll want my testimony.
It's a miracle. Sure,
that is amazing. I don't know anybody who's got an active addiction that's got all their.
That's good, bro. You must have brushed. Good for you.
No, I didn't brush. That's the thing. They're still yellow as hell, but.
Oh, that's impressive.
Maybe that's the trick.
The trick is leave the plasma on there.
What about mentally, you guys?
Oh fuck. Psychosis. I'm still hearing shit. Still see shadows moving. I still talk to myself. It's horrible.
Yeah, look at the camera.
Yeah, the camera. There's my other buddy.
Those are the people you're talking to.
I think I have a split personality. I have another friend that likes to talk sometimes. Nice. Sometimes I say the things that I didn't really mean to say.
Or did you?
I shouldn't say it.
Oh, that was that guy.
Here, that's what it says. Insert foot there.
Right. For me, I'm fucked up, man. I'm crazy, but mentally. So the things that I put myself through out there on the streets, dude, I was suicidal as all get out. I didn't want to live. I didn't want to get high, but I had to, I thought, you know what I mean? Like every day I had to do dope just to stay awake, just to be more depressed than I was before I did the fucking dope, to stand over a fucking bridge and wait for a train to come by to jump off the bridge in front of the train. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I was fucked up mentally out there. My wife was nowhere to be found. My kids were already gone. I didn't really have much to live for anymore in my mind. Right. But then this little spark of hope named Heather Banks came along and said, hey, there's a better life. Today, mentally, So I'm going through a lot of shit, right? Just because we recover doesn't mean we don't go through stuff. The difference is we go through it, right? We don't go out and we don't stuff a needle in our arm to deal with it. My wife's sick, dying. I've got my uncle just passed away. My dad's not doing too good. That shit, if I was high, I would have been over it. I would have killed myself by now. Being sober going through that and trying to stay fucking sane is a lot of fucking work, man. It's not easy. Not easy at all. But I do it. I do it every single fucking day. I still go to work. I still do everything I need to do. Mentally, upstairs, I'm fucking overwhelmed as fuck, right?
Yeah.
Physically, I'm not showing that because if I show that, it's my wife will see it and she'll break, right?
Yeah.
My daughter will see it, she'll break.
Got to be that example,
right?
Hold it together.
But it's tiring trying to stay strong like that, dude. It is. It's mentally exhausting. So we do go through a lot of mental shit when we get sober.
Truth. That's the importance of the sponsorship, though. I mean, you guys help each other through those times. You know?
Right,
Sponsees
absolutely.
and sponsors, they help each other.
Yeah.
It's the best thing.
Your daughter's freaking out about something.
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh.
I just want to say you don't always have to hold it in.
Yeah, I did.
No, you don't. that's one thing that I learned is like a lot of men tend to hold it in because that's what they feel like they have to do, but you don't always have to do
No, that's what my shower is for. I cry in the shower. It's easy.
Yeah.
You don't always
I
have
do that.
to
Nobody has to
you
see
don't
me,
always
right?
have to-
Like nobody
I know.
has to see me and nobody has to feel it. And I do talk about it with my wife. I mean, it's not something that
Sometimes we want to.
after a while it just comes out. You can't hold it back no more, right? For me, I have to stay strong so my wife can stay strong. If I'm not strong, then she sees any weakness in me, I'm her rock and she's mine, right?
Yep.
So if one of us starts getting soft, the other one's going to start getting soft, and then we're going to start seeing shit in a bad way, and that can lead me back into addiction. And I don't fucking want that.
That leads to emotional. How does it affect you guys emotionally?
Emotionally, it's been really hard to commit myself emotionally to anybody. Hard enough to even accept that I'm a good dude, or to feel good emotionally about myself, let alone to share that with somebody else.
Yeah.
Nice.
True. Very well said.
Me? Emotionally, I'm a fucking mess inside. When I first got clean, I felt the same way. I didn't want to fucking have that connection, man. I didn't want to fucking trust. Trust is a big fucking thing, right? Because when you're out there, you trust no one at all. You can't, because they're going to stab you in the fucking back every fucking time. And you know it, right? Including your family and your loved ones.
Especially
if they're
your
in
family
use,
and loved ones.
they're going to fucking do it too, right? So for when I first got out, I had to sit down with my wife and tell her straight up, I don't trust you. And you're going to have to earn that shit. And she did the same with me, right?
Yeah.
Emotionally, some days I don't even know how to feel.
Talk about your feelings, Dan.
Fuck you.
Oh yeah.
Feelings. I fucking hate that word.
Everybody's
I've hated that. So I've hated that word since I got clean. So I've learned so much being in treatment and shit, right? I turn sadness into anger a lot, right? Or I'm like Val. Val likes to clown. When something's getting emotional and hitting your heart, we'll joke, right? We'll turn everything into a fucking joke.
That's that mask we always wear.
Right. Absolutely. And that's kind of how we try to just set it back to the back of our heads, right?
Yeah.
Feelings suck.
Yeah.
Especially when we're clean. When we're high, we didn't have anything but anger or fucking whatever, right?
No, we hit all our feelings. When
Right.
we're
We
high.
buried them so fucking deep that they couldn't be brought up. Now they're right out on my fucking sleeve. I can't fucking even start thinking about sad shit without my wife going, what's wrong?
Oh man.
Right? Or my friends around me, because they all know me very well, like Pat, my sponsee, you, Johnny, my sponsor. Like, I even start going, and they know. It's instant, right? Because we all know each other and we become this huge family through 5R and through here and through everywhere else, that we're there to support each other. Feelings though, man, that's a rough one, Johnny.
Yeah.
That's
How about you, Ivan? How do you deal with your feelings now?
Oh, it's a necessary evil to let that shit out, to show them, because it makes it a little bit easier for the next time. Every time it gets a little bit easier, First of all, I learned to love myself, and show that.
Yep.
I take care of myself. I'm going to see the doctor. I'm doing the things I should be. And loving myself has made it where I'm able to show love to other people.
Right.
Even friends. And I remember where I came from. So when I'm walking by somebody that's smoking dope at the fucking bus stop, which happens all the time on Broadway.
Oh yeah.
I just ask them if they need, Elise's number or Heather's number.
Yeah.
Hey, do you need that? Do you need it? We want to get clean. There's a better way to go about it.
Right.
Sure is.
I had a guy up at midnight ask me
Yeah.
about a week ago. He's all, "Hey man, you got any change?" And I said, "I sure do. It's called the Diversion Center. It's right up the road, dude." And it just came out my mouth.
That's awesome.
It was. I mean, and I was like,
Good.
"Oh, did I just think of that?"
Yeah.
Oh my God, I got a brain up there. Oh, it shocked me just as much as it probably shocked him. He's like, "What's that?" And I'm like, so I explained it to him. He's like, "Oh yeah, I ain't doing that." I'm like, "Well, that's your choice."
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about spiritually?
Spiritually.
God.
Yes. we
Higher
know.
power.
I do believe in God. I have a God and a higher power. And I'm very thankful that I have this life that he's given me. And it's very important that you trust and love yourself before you go and commit yourself to God. Because, he believes in you and you should believe in yourself. So, I always picked up myself before and it brings me right close to God every time. Because he does love me and he puts people like you guys in my life, to help me, So being in touch with God is one of the biggest things, He'll help me through my weaknesses.
Right. Absolutely. So for me, I was mad at God for a very long time, right? Like I thought, why would you let me go back into my addiction? Why did you leave me? That's what I thought in my addiction. When the truth was, he didn't leave me, I left him.
Yes.
Right. I walked away from him. If it wasn't for God, I wouldn't be sitting here.
Exactly.
I promise you that, dude.
Guaranteed.
Back when I was fucking in use, I was standing on an overpass waiting for the train to come. It was coming. I went to jump and there was nobody on that overpass. It was the middle of the fucking night. And all of a sudden somebody just grabbed me and pulled me out. Some guy that I knew. Now, I mean, my faith is good. It's not as where I want it to be. I pray every day. I thank God every fucking day for everything. It doesn't matter, good, bad, ugly, whatever, man. Because you know what? All that shit to me is what gets me through that day, right? It doesn't always have to be good. And you should thank him for the bad shit.
Oh, yeah.
You know what? Because that bad shit is who made you who you are.
Exactly.
I wake up every morning, I go out on my porch before I go to work, and I thank God for another day.
Yeah.
And I tell him, you know what? It's going to be a good day.
Love that.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ivan.
Thank you, Ivan.
Morgan, get in there. Go ahead.
You're up. Oh, no.
I'll give you your seat back there. I'm gonna take.
There's actually something. There's something I want to read first.
Okay, read first then.
Ooh, that's kind of nice.
It's called Footprints in the Sand.
Oh, yeah.
It says,
It's a very famous thing.
one night a man had a dream. He dreamed he was walking along the beach with the Lord. Across the sky flashed scenes from his life. For each scene, he noticed two sets of footprints in the sand. One belonged to him and the other to the Lord. When the last scene of his life flashed before him, he looked back at the footprints in the sand. He noticed that many times along the path of his life, there was only one set of footprints. He also noticed that it happened at the very lowest and saddest times of his life. This really bothered him, and he questioned the Lord about it. Lord, you said that once I decided to follow you, you'd walk with me all the way. But I have noticed that during the most troublesome times in my life, there was only one set of footprints. I don't understand why when I needed you the most, you would leave. The Lord replied, my precious, precious child, I love you and I will never leave you. During your times of trial and suffering, when you see only one set of footprints, it was then that I carried you.
Yep. It's very famous.
Yes.
The reason why I read that was because that's something that I did with God a lot of the time. Was I would go and do the things I was doing because I felt like God wasn't there. And so when I finally would get in trouble or there would be something going on, I would be like, God, why would you leave me? When a lot of the times he was actually carrying me through those situations. So when it comes to mental health and recovery, an active addiction I was at my lowest, very low. And I ended up trying to commit suicide. And the doctors were amazed because when I got there, my organs were failing, everything was shutting down. And then just out of nowhere, in a snap, everything was working again. The only thing I was having was the jitters from me trying to kill myself, obviously. And still then, I blamed God for the longest time. But when I was read that, it's not necessarily a poem, but when that was read to me, everything kind of clicked. It was like, I don't know, that the footprints in the sand is a really big thing for me. It always has been.
Yep.
And Dad, when it comes with you guys, I don't remember if I told you or not, but Dad told me about this dream that he had when he was in active addiction about the field next to my old house flooding and killing him. And one night, me and my cousin were out driving around, and we drove past that same exact field, and it was flooded. And I was like, oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
This is where they camped all the time. All the time. And the fact that it was completely flooded over, almost over the road and stuff. And it was like a kind of like encaved like field. Their whole camp would have been flooded.
Yeah.
And just think, like, when that happened, just thinking about what if you guys were asleep? What if one of you would, like, had nodded off? And I know for some people, it's really hard to wake up from that stuff.
Ain't that the truth, right?
True.
And so
once you fall out, you're out.
Yeah. So when we passed that field and it was completely flooded, I was like, oh my God. If they would have been out here another year,
Yeah,
it would have been a completely flooded.
Yep.
That's how sad it is when they're digging.
It really is.
It's really sad.
And right now, I'm kind of going through it a little bit with some of my own stuff. Postpartum is a little harder than I was expecting it to be.
Of course.
But the thing is that's one thing that I am also very grateful for about Teen Challenge was they taught me
Just plug Teen Challenge. Look at that.
They owe me money now.
they taught me how to notice. They taught me how to notice symptoms of things beforehand.
Right.
So this time I'm able to reach out properly, unlike before, and do the things that I need to beforehand now. And so, yeah, that's kind of it.
Talk about what you're going to do coming up. You're going to be doing your testimony.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to be doing my testimony Monday night, and then on Friday I'm going to be going into the diversions.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
share that knowledge.
Yep.
That's awesome, Morgan.
Go spread the word a little bit.
Dang right. So, Pat, you want to get in? You've been like eager. When you guys want to get out, let Pat in. Come on, good job, Morgan. Do you want this or you want
Come
the
here, big guy. Come on, Big P.
My shoes.
Let's go, Big Pimpin'.
I'd like to see you try to take them off me.
Yeah. I'll just wait till you fall into your bag.
For you, Pat.
Oh, that's good to see.
What's up, beautiful?
Very cool.
No, look.
Show the shoes that we're all talking about.
I don't know if he can lift his foot up that high.
Yeah. No, I can't.
Yeah, you gotta plug in DC.
They are
man.
dope.
What?
No.
Yeah, they owe you money.
So how about you, Pat?
What was that question again?
What part? Physical, mental, emotional, spiritual.
How has drug addiction affected all four of those, and how has recovery affected all four of those?
So a lot of people don't know about this, but like when I was 21, it would have been December 28th of
Cool case.
2011. I had a full-blown heart attack.
Yeah.
I was barely 21. And then 16 days later, I had another full-blown heart attack.
Really?
Yeah. From my meth addiction. Like, it's some real shit. Like, I was shooting up between a teener to a ball at a time.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't give no fucks about my health. I went from, being 478 pounds to barely 170 pounds.
Just
soaking
don't
wet.
see that.
I got pictures to prove it.
I know you do. I've seen it.
Yeah. Like, it's like I was disgusting, like, super sucked up. Like, it was just bones.
Yeah.
Like, there was no, like, fat. Like, that's some
As
good
he
fat right
wiggles
there.
his titty
It was
on
just Pat.
camera. I love
It
you,
was
Pat.
just Pat back then.
Yeah.
Oh, I got no shame in my game. No shame for my game at all.
We know. So,
do I believe I have a higher power out there? Do I want to call it God necessarily? A rock, a stone, a car, a door handle. Like, I don't know what I have a higher power, but I know I have a higher power out there looking out for me, because, like, there's not once, not twice, not 3 times in my life that, you know, I should have been a full-blown heart attack, beaten to death, been in prison, numerous things that I shouldn't be alive. Like, I got a son-man fight in prison, like, should have died from it. There's multiple things I've done in my life that my higher power is still looking out for me to this day. Like, because of my higher power, I've got 18 months
that's right.
and 9 days clean sober.
Yeah.
Nice, let's go.
Congratulations.
Yep.
Let's go.
You know, drug court, just, you know, it's no longer called drug court, it's called family recovery court.
Right.
They've changed it, which, you know, will look better, you know, when you go to a player somewhere and you be like, oh, well, I'm a family recovery court, and they'll actually get it, not like, what's family drug court?
Right.
Recovery court.
It's not just about drugs.
Yeah, it sounds better. Like Ding Dong Dustin right there. Side Dustin. Side of camera.
Yeah, it does.
Misses you.
He ain't gonna do it.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. That's all we get. So what else you got, Pat? I mean, spiritually,
It's awesome.
you know, God's been like walking you through all this, right? Like,
You know, drug court or family recovery court just took away the 24-month marker. Like, they have, like, I can be in the program up to as long as I need till, you know, I get my high school education or get my waiver, so, you know, I don't go to prison over this. And, you know, that's a blessing in itself right there.
right? That is because that's unheard of.
Yeah.
You've been lucky so far through all this stuff, dude. Like, this is your second time through drug court, which is unheard of by itself. So you obviously have a higher power that's walking with you through all this.
Not once with the same judge, but twice with the same judge now.
Right.
It's only $13.
That's pretty good.
Oh my God, you guys.
Yeah, what did we forget
Anyways,
Yeah, you guys, sorry.
Yeah.
you gugot straws.
about?
Or
We were talking about the 5 R's. My bad.
All right.
Sorry. My bad.
So
Yeah, look, throw a fucking kid in the mix and look at it shiny.
everything gets all screwed up.
We all get ADHD from Bordeaux.
Your guys' house meeting is about to start. I guess
No, we got another half an hour. You're good.
Oh, okay. All right.
But you know what? Whenever you're ready to come in here,
I'm
your
ready.
dad,
Get out of the way.
your
Pat.
dad's got a
Get out of the way.
question. What?
Get out of the way. What's some autograph sponsor?
Oh, all right.
Oh, okay.
Let's
You
go.
want to see what Johnny?
Oh.
I feel like you want to fill him up a little bit, but that's okay. I mean,
Don't
I'll
worry.
stand in the background.
Oh my God, you better move that hand,
What's
man,
the
bro.
man?
that's
Okay, let's see. Jody says, "Do I need to complete all the 5 R's to believe I can be successful in life, Dad?" I wouldn't say I mean, success is a matter of perspective, Dad. That's something I talk a lot about in 5R recovery. What is success to you? Most people believe success is money, right? Everybody believes like, well, if I have my own house and I have cars and I have, you know, enough money in the bank, that means that I'm successful. To me,
No.
successful is about helping people every single day. So you don't have to go through the 5 R's in order to be successful. You just have to help people every single day. We are not the only program out there. There are tons of programs out there. I just recommend that if you're going to do a program, dedicate your life to it, right? Like, don't just do it and then feel like you're done. Like I said, it shouldn't be long term. It should be life term. People who are in 5R are 5R family forever.
Yep.
We are 5R. I'm not 5R. Right. Even though I tell people, that, you know, when I first start and where it all came from, and it came from my story, and the 5 R's came from my testimony and getting clean and how that formula fit to my lifestyle at the time. You know, I was driving down the road one day and I had done all of these certain things to keep myself clean. And the 5 R's just came to me, and that's where it came from. But that doesn't mean that it has to do with me. It has to do with that we as a family are a very powerful family. 5 R recovery to me is something that I want to still be around long after I'm gone. I want it to be like a legacy. I want it to continue to help people, whether I'm involved in it or not. I think that's the goal. So, yeah, I mean, I believe the 5 R's are essential to people, but they're not the only way to go.
Especially people in recovery.
Yeah,
absolutely. Because like either you're gonna work your your AA program, your NA program, your CA, your MA, your 5 R recovery. You got to work some type of or HA,
Right?
yeah, for those heroin anonymous people.
Yeah.
Regardless, you have
Those people.
yeah, those people. You have to work some type of program out there to stay successful in your life. I've learned. I got 18 years of active addiction, and like I got 18 months. That's because I've worked a steady program.
Yes.
Like since the 5 R family has actually started. We started having meetings and stuff over a year ago now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I've gone to every meeting. I think I've missed like maybe 1 or 2 meetings at the beginning, but other than that, I've been involved since the beginning. It's something that's truly helped me, and something I look forward to every Tuesday nights at 6:30. We show up.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I show up on time. I'm there at 5
Might go in a
5:15.
few minutes late. We are there on time.
Service work is very important.
I'm just playing.
I show up there early. I help put out the chairs and help put up the tables. I'll step afterwards and help put everything away unless I get $100 job and I have to go to work, because if I'm not driving, I ain't making no money. But it's not a real job according to my sponsor.
Yeah.
It's not a man.
It's a bitch job, apparently.
You just had to put that out there, didn't you?
If you see the people that are in our group, I mean, you would definitely label us as misfits.
Oh my God.
100%.
But the whole point is that if we could do it, then anybody could do it. Right? That's kind of like the montage of it all. Like our group, we're not a bunch of suave, debonair people, right? We all have, I think I've heard the F word like 30, 40 times just
in the church.
video. Yeah. It's not, we really got to work on things. But again, if we can do it, then I believe anybody can do it. And I just wanted to bring some type of a new feel, to recovery. To be honest, I have a really big problem with the word anonymous. Okay. Right. It's another thing that 5 R recovery talks about. We are not an anonymous group. I've had a couple people say, well, Johnny, you're not supposed to talk about the people that join your meetings because isn't it supposed to be anonymous? And I'm like, I am not an anonymous program. You know why? Because I don't hide from my recovery or from my addiction. I embrace my recovery. I'm okay with who I am. I'm not ashamed of what I've gone through. And to be honest, if we wouldn't gone through what we've gone through, then we wouldn't be able to help the people we help out today. Right. We needed all that trauma.
Exactly, like you're saying. We can't, hire lifestyles because that's going to lead us into a downfall.
Yeah,
it truly is.
Yeah, we've learned tools in our active addiction that you can't learn from anywhere else but our active addiction.
And I know for me, if I wasn't one of those people out on the streets, the people here would not respect me.
Of course not.
Because I don't understand it.
You can be relatable. You know what the best part is like I absolutely love. I was in a group gathering last week, and somebody said, it sounds to me like somebody needs the 5 R's of recovery. And I've never heard anybody say that before to me. And that felt good to me because I was like, oh my gosh, they do need the 5 R's to recovery. I think that's at our last meeting, a girl who we'll give a shout out. What's her name? Megan, right? Megan was like, yeah, I saw 5 R recovery on the back of your card and wondered what it was. So I looked it up, and now I'm at your Tuesday night meetings. And it's like, dude, that feels good, right?
Awesome.
It's just like one of those things where you're driving down the road. To be honest, that sticker's been in my car for a long time, and that's the first time I've heard it. So it's about time it's paying for itself.
At least we know.
That's
at
expensive.
least we know that the merch and everything.
Yeah, and I think
I need a big one across my back window because like I'm anywhere from Bellingham in the day all the way down to Tacoma.
Yeah, we need that advertisement. Right? Yeah.
Magnets.
That's what I was going to say. Get the magnets for your doors.
Dustin just made this huge banner, even though he didn't put our logo up in the top corner. He put somebody else's logo, which of course I'll get copyright infringement, which probably means I'll have a lawsuit. And thank you, Dustin, for that. He's like, I already ordered it. I'm like, okay, that's not our logo, and that's called copyright infringement. So again, these are those legal things that you got to learn. As
we talk about, saying fuck a lot, right?
Yeah,
it happens.
Yeah,
see, right there it says F-U-C
Okay. Fuck. We're working on it. We're working on it. You notice I don't curse as much as them because these guys are true animals. So I'm gonna touch up on the last 4 things before we go. We got 15 minutes. I actually should be. Pat says, "Do you just believe in God or just a higher power out there?" Obviously, Jesus Christ is my Lord and Savior. I'm a Christian. That's what I believe has been with me the whole time. I believe we should all be seeking Christ. We are servants of Christ first. We're servants of God first. That's what I'm all about. It's what I've been about since I was younger. But to me, it's like what Dan said. God never walked away from me. I walked away from God. I never listened to. Hi, Pat and Johnny. That's Kyle's mom. Say hi.
Cool.
Hi, Cheryl.
Hi, Cheryl.
We love you. You're awesome, inspiration, amazing person. So it was one of those things where I walked away from God. I heard God on my 6th day clean. I tell this story all the time. It sounded like Morgan Freeman and Bruce Almighty, obviously. Every time people hear God, it's Morgan Freeman. Right? It is. It's just love you, Morgan Freeman, if you're watching, which you'll never watch this. So why did I even say that?
Well, you can't do that. Like, you can stumble across it.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Hey, Morgan Freeman, give me a call. You can be the narrator for our videos.
It's live. It's on YouTube. And
Yeah.
you'd be surprised. Like, long as people keep looking up and watching things on YouTube, it'll be on for life. But eventually, after 5 years of people not watching programs or anything, they do eventually take them off. I've realized this.
Oh my gosh. Well, then we're just going to keep producing content. But for me, God is everything, right? So I'm a servant of God first, servant of our community, servant of our people, and servant of the mission. I talk about that a lot too. So let's see. Let's talk about addiction and recovery with physical. Like I said, teeth, headaches, neck, back, kidneys, all these things have been affected by my active addiction. Let's see, mental, the way I think. Sometimes I'll be thinking about something and my words will stop. I get lost in my thoughts. And I believe that there's some kind of a cognitive impairment in my brain or in all addicts' brain that lessens their ability to be able to put together and compute rational thoughts, right? So like having a sentence come out seems very like scripted until you get to a certain word and you're like, dude, what was I even talking about? And it's funny because Shane Collins, who's a friend of ours here, part of our family, does it a lot. And he'll be sitting there and he'll be having a conversation and he'll just go, I have no idea what I was saying. And you're like, dude, you were spitting fire. Like he did it at the diversion center, which Shane, if you're watching, it was awesome. He was spitting fire. And all of a sudden he just goes, I don't even remember what I was saying. And everybody was like, what do we do now? And I'm like, I don't know what we do now. And he's just like, okay, I'm done. And I'm like, wait, there was like a third part of the story. Like the story's gone. I don't know what happened. I still don't know what happened. Anyway, so that's mentally, emotionally, you deal with fear and you deal with depression and anxiety and learning how to be sad and happy. Our feelings are everything. I was really good at being angry and being mad. That was no problem. But learning how to feel good about things and to cry when it's appropriate, emotions is something that we all struggle with. Hi, how are you? Good. So, and then the last one is spiritual. Like I said, I have more connection to God than I ever have. God is everything. God is the most important. And that's what I base my life around. So those are the 4.
We get blessed for these things now.
Yeah, for sure.
Right.
For
Totally
sure.
Blessed.
Hit that subscribe button.
Please.
Give us a thumbs up. Whatever.
You're lucky.
Follow.
Before we end,
Yes.
she graduated.
Oh my gosh, Lori! Yes, Lori graduated IOP. That's what we're talking about. Making differences in the community. Good job, girl. Very proud of you.
We graduated on Thursday.
That's awesome. Again, people doing amazing things. It's awesome. Check us out live on YouTube Saturdays and Mondays.
Yep.
You're loved and wanted.
Tuesday night meetings.
Tuesday night.
Yeah, Tuesday night meeting. Thank you. God, I always draw a blank at this part.
It's at 6:30, but we're thinking of moving to 7 to make everybody there on time.
Why do
We
why
got
people
plenty of space for
why-
more family.
Definitely. Why do people not show up on time to this meeting? It was at 6, and then we moved it to 6:30, and now people are still late all the
Maybe
time.
that's why people can't show up.
I know. I'm like making accommodations for people. Anyway, so yeah, Diversion Center on Friday nights. Like I said, live on Saturdays, live on Mondays. We're doing all sorts of stuff in our community. Talk about your reborn moment. Dad, talk about what my reborn moment. Like, do you mean with the 5 R's, or do you mean like my reborn moment? Let's see. Okay, start fresh, set short-term, long-term goals for yourself. My reborn moment was at a moment when the world was shutting down. So all this stuff was happening in the world, and that's when 5R recovery was created. When the pandemic hit, Meetings were shut down. Things were happening all over the place. People were really relapsing. Relapses went up 60%. Overdoses went up 30%. Suicides went up 30% in a very short period of time. We were starting to see that people were dying. My whole reborn phase was just me starting fresh and setting short-term and long-term goals. And the big long-term goal was to create 5-hour recovery. So I created 5-hour recovery because I needed something that would last through pandemics, through the fentanyl crisis, through the change in big tech, through the change in big pharma, something that was adaptable. It could be creative, it could be imaginative, and it would roll with the times. And so that was my reborn moment, was me starting fresh, short-term and long-term goals for myself, and deciding to create a nonprofit and have a 5-hour family. What do you My dad's got me on the other side going, dude, Pat, I didn't say anything. Anyway,
that's towards someone else off the camera. My fault.
That's my reborn moment. So yeah, we're way past our time. I love you guys. Thank you all for watching.
You're loved and wanted.
Yep, you're loved and wanted. And yeah, check us out. Bye, everyone.
Later.
I love all you guys.
All over it.